Bum, bum, bum.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bike Like a Dog. And it has been a minute, hasn't it? I have been in the process of getting a car for my teenage daughter, and let me tell you, that is a full-time job. And that has been just almost occupying all my time for the last couple of weeks. But we finally got one, so there we go. Happy with that. And then I was hoping to get some mods put on this bike this week, and I did not get. So, man, I didn't get a fourth of the stuff done that I really wanted to get done. In some cases, due to my own mechanical ineptitude. And in other cases where I just bought the wrong product because I tried to select a part that was shown on the website to be the one that belonged with the CF Moto Ibex 450, and it wasn't. So that was one that I was planning on getting on this week, and didn't happen. Anyway, I wanted to go ahead and get something out, though. For one thing, I just haven't even been riding because I've been so caught up in this car thing and everything. So, out on a little ride this evening, and it just hit me, an email that I got today that I found really interesting. Maybe y'all won't. I don't know. That's up to you to decide, right? But the email was from Harley Davidson because I went to my MSF course at a Harley Davidson, so that kind of puts you on their email list automatically, which is fine with me. I don't mind that a bit. I enjoy getting a lot of the stuff from them. But today it had a very intriguing title. It was Own a Harley for Under $10,000. And that intrigued me because, like I said, I took my MSF course at Harley, and so did my son. He was on their X350RA, which is a motorcycle you cannot buy in America. It's available in other countries, but in America, the only version is the RA version, which is for their riding academy. It is not for sale. And so you can't buy it. I was on a Street 500, which has been discontinued, and you can't buy it. In fact, the 350RA is actually replacing the Street 500 as their riding academy bike. Because obviously those 500s in the riding academy are getting dropped, and people mismanaging all kinds of stuff on those things. So I'm sure they break. And they're hardy bikes, but still, they're not. That's a good bit of abuse going through those classes. Anyway, the thing that struck me was that as part of the MSF class, you go through and you get a tour of the Harley dealership, which is to say you get to tag along behind the salesman as they explain to you why you want to buy a road glide. Yeah. So it occurred to me at the time, why is it that Harley understands the needs of a beginner rider so much so that they are willing to create this X350RA, a 350cc motorcycle for their riding classes, so that people can, because they understand that's a need of a beginning rider, or even the Street 500, but they don't have any of those bikes for sale. I'm kind of like, you've got a built-in market. How many people, after they go through that class, if they don't already have a bike, which was 2/3 of my class didn't already have bikes, So it was kind of like, you've got a built-in market right there, man, that you don't even have to work for. You don't have to do advertising for. They're already in your dealership, walking through the showroom, if you just had something to offer them. So when I saw this email for, hey, own a Harley for under $10,000, I thought, well, okay, let's see what they got. And of course, it was a Nightster. So I went to the website, and sure enough, there's the Nightster, and it's available for $9,999 as long as you're willing to take the gray with black trim. If you wanted black or Whiskey Fire or whatever that is, those were up charges. And the thing that I found kind of amusing, I'm having trouble getting into second today. The thing that I found amusing was that the two trims available, both shown as standard, were black and chrome, which, makes perfect sense. Two standard trims, black and chrome. But if you chose the chrome standard trim, it was only available with snake venom body color, which is a $900 upcharge. And I was sitting there going, so you get the standard trim, but with that standard trim, there is no standard color. Interesting. So you're immediately up to $11,000. Oh, by the way, the 2025 Nightster is, like I said, $99.99. Is it weird to anybody except me that the 2024 Nightster is still shown on their website with an MSRP of $11,999? $2,000 more? Maybe that's just me. Anyway, I started thinking about all the other bikes that you could buy for under $10,000 that were much more beginner-friendly than a $10,000 Harley that weighs almost 500 pounds. I think it's like 481, something like that. It has 90 horsepower. I think it's 70-something foot-pounds of torque and everything. Not exactly beginner-friendly. It does have a nice low seat height and everything, so that's nice. But beyond that, not so much. Anyway, I'm going to pick this up when I get out of here, because I got to pick up a sandwich. Okay, so I started thinking what other bikes, are available for a beginner rider. And I started thinking, well, you got things like, I went to the Honda website, and you got the Rebels, the 300, the 500. You've got the CRF, 300Ls, the Rally, and the Standard. You got the XR. I mean, there's like a half dozen bikes from Honda, sport bikes, cruisers, dual sports, all kinds of stuff available for under $10,000. Kawasaki, same thing. They've got the Eliminator as a cruiser. They've got the Ninja Sport Bike, the 500. They've got KLX Dual Sports. They've got the Z500 Naked. Again, a lot of different bikes, and many of them are available in more than one color. Amazingly enough. Still for under $10,000. So, and then you could keep going. You could go to Yamaha, you could go to Suzuki. The point is that there are so many more bikes available for under $10,000 that are more beginner-friendly and everything. And I just don't understand why Harley Davidson understands the need of the beginner rider for their riding academy bikes, but does not seem to understand the beginner rider for the bikes they actually have on their showroom floor. I just don't get it. And then what confuses me more is then I watch announcements from, Indian, where they, discontinue a line, but now they're going to double down on their big cruisers, and they're kind of going to go the same way as Harley by doing the premium bikes with their cruisers and adding more premium options and this kind of stuff. And I'm going, because that works so well for Harley, you're going to go the same way. There comes a time when you learn from other people's mistakes, and this would seem to be one of those times. Especially at a time when the Harley CEO is stepping down, who was one of the guys, as I understand it, he was kind of the guy that got rid of those more beginner-friendly bikes. The guy before him, as I understand it, was kind of hey, we need to give more ways into Harley, right? We need to have more entry points into being a Harley rider than just our big cruisers. And, then this guy comes in and who is... Okay. Okay. I'm trying to think of a way to say this that doesn't sound elitism, but at the same time, I don't think anyone understands the Harley American image if they didn't grow up in America. All right? And given that Harley sells most of their bikes in America, I think that's kind of an important thing to understand. So, I don't know. I just don't get, I saw somebody going, yeah, they need to hire somebody from a successful company that's done made some other company successful, like somebody in the food industry or something like that. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, because the tennis shoe guy worked out so well. Harley Davidson is not just another product. Harley Davidson motorcycles it's not just another motorcycle. It is, I can't even put a word on it. And I mean, there's one I want to put on it, and I just can't think of it right off the bat. But it is, it'll come to me at some point. That bar and shield just means so much. I'm not a Harley rider. I'm riding the CF Moto Chinese bike, for crying out loud. But this was just something that I thought about today, and it's kind of been on my mind for a while. And like I said, I wanted to get out for a little bit of a ride this evening, and didn't have my mods to kind of show off. So instead, that email was at the top of my mind. I think it's great that Harley has a bike for under $10,000. I wish they had more than one. And I wish they had one that was more in the realm of $6,000 to $8,000. Because I really think you take that X350 and put it out there for $6,000-$7,000, you might be getting some people out of those riding classes on a Harley. And you know what happens when people get on a Harley? They buy the clothing. They buy the image. They buy the gear, the keychains, the mugs, all the stuff that says Harley Davidson on it, which is cool stuff. I don't have any because I don't have a Harley. And quite frankly, wearing a shirt that says CF Moto just doesn't have the cool factor. But neither did the Kawasaki. The only Japanese bike that has maybe the same appeal worldwide would probably be Honda. Wearing a Honda shirt, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But even a Yamaha, you just don't get the same vibe as you do from a Honda or a Harley. And once people have bought into that mystique, once they have that stuff that's got the brand all over it, once they're in your dealership and have the relationship with your service department and all that kind of stuff, all you got to do is keep them. It is so much easier to keep a customer than to get a new customer. And any salesman will tell you that. Any businessman should tell you that. That was something I knew even as a software developer, working with our marketing department and everything. It was made very clear to me that keeping customers was huge. Getting customers was great, but keeping them was the key to success. Because anybody can go out and get customers by doing some huge promotion that gets people to walk through the doors, right? You go back to, I think back to the 60s, when they had all those free toasters and stuff like that they were giving away to people for opening an account or something. But the key was, did they keep those customers? And I see the same thing today, especially for Harley. Because if I go to my local, like with my Kawasaki, if I go to my local dealership, you know what else is in their showroom? Hondas, Yamahas, and Suzukis. I don't have gear that says Kawasaki on it. It was never something that I felt like I really wanted. Especially as an older rider, right? But Harley doesn't have that. You walk into a Harley dealership, and what do you see? Harleys. What else do you see? More Harleys. I go into my CF Moto dealership, you know what I see? Aprilias, Benellis, Moto Guzzi's. Yeah, there are a number of different bikes there, a number of different brands there. Heck, I see Vespas there, right? So, sorry about the rant today. I wanted to get out. I wanted to ride. I wanted to put something out there so that everybody realized that, after my class, I'm not dead. Oh, speaking of the class, I will say this. After taking that class, I got to tell you, and I'm talking about the Yamaha Champions Riding School Champ Street course. After taking that class, I am so much more comfortable on this bike. I am so much more confident riding. It's huge. And I can't explain it in a way that anyone else would really understand it, other than to tell you it is just a night and day difference how I feel about riding now versus what I did prior to go into the course. So, yeah, take the course if you can. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I need to be heading back home anyway, but I do want to thank you for stopping by. Make sure you like and subscribe before you leave today. I am going to be getting some videos once I get these mods. I ordered some that that replacement yesterday for the one that didn't fit, so it should be coming in probably, if it doesn't come in over the weekend, probably early next week, and maybe I can get that on there, because I just don't feel right about doing a mods video and having like, oh, look at my foot pegs, and that's the only thing I got on there, right? I have something else to show. So we'll take care of that. I am going to say one thing about equipment before I go. Dadgummit, it did it again. Okay, look at this helmet. This is an AGV Tour modular helmet, all right? It's a good helmet, don't get me wrong. It's an ECE 2206 helmet and all that kind of stuff. But a couple of things about it just drive me insane. It's a modular helmet, Tour modular, right? But every time I go, so this visor, you have to push this button to let the visor loose. Now, I usually sit with it kind of cracked there, but almost every time I do, I close this chin vent. I'm constantly closing that chin vent without meaning to. And it drives me crazy because, I mean, we're in, 75, 80 degree weather right now. And, right now we're hitting mid-80s in the middle of the day. And to not have that chin vent open, oh, God, this thing's like a cooking pot on my head. I got the lighter color instead of my old black, I had the black Sedici Sistema, which I loved, except for the fact that it was black and just, well, let's face it, black gear, sunlight, hot. So I got this, hoping that it would reflect more light, wouldn't get quite as hot and everything, but I can't keep this dang, God, look at that, I did it again. It closed. God, that drives me crazy. And it does not flow air. It is quiet. I'll give you that. It's very quiet, but the reason it's quiet is because there's no air coming through it. My Sistema 2 was sick. It flowed so much more air than this thing does. I mean, so much more. And that's my rant on this helmet. I do have another helmet that I'm going to be installing the Bluetooth speakers and microphone into so that I can move my 50C, my Senna 50C from helmet to helmet. Once I do that, you may not be seeing this one much anymore. It's a good winter helmet, right? During the winter, yeah, okay. I'll do that. But for the summer, man, I may be hanging this thing up until like October, November. All right. Well, that's about it. Sorry for that rant, but man, that just hit me right then. That so hot, so hot, so hot. All right, y'all. All right, y'all take it easy. Ride safe, and come back and see me out, and hopefully I'll have some mods to show you by then, okay? So long, y'all.